Doc Rivers continues to time and time again not get it when it comes to getting... Oh! Let him play!
Good evening, sports fans, and a pleasure to have you here for the big football show. Nice to have you back with us. My name is Dave Medina. You also know me as Davey's Eating a Sandwich on Twitch and TikTok and Instagram and all the things. Great to have you back here for Sandwich Sports tonight. And tonight we will recap success. Well, for us anyway. But big upsets in the football. Wow. How about who? Did you think the Bills were going to lose last weekend? Did you think that Alabama was going to lose last weekend? Did you think that Clemson was going to lose last weekend? Some really big upsets in football this week. And so joining us to help us take a gander at all the things that happened over the weekend, we're joined by Kevin on the Cape and Andy in Seattle to give us all the particulars. It should be quite an interesting time. So we'll keep that rolling. We'll recap what happened, and then we'll take you up to about 11 o'clock, maybe even earlier, and then we'll segue to a Together Wherever reveal in a separate stream. But we'll pause the stream and then restart it in 30 seconds. So glad to have you all with us. Moke Helix, welcome in. Woohoo! Davey streaming. Oh wait, Auburn is streaming. Should I stay here? I wouldn't kill you if you went to Auburn. That's going to be a great stream tonight too. So totally down with that. Pies, welcome in. Good to see you tonight as well. I see the name change in my Zoom. That's fantastic. That really is. So needless to say, our friend Kevin is in the chat or in the Zoom call. We got much to recap here, so let's not waste any time. Folks, another great week of football. Really a lot of crazy stuff to report, everybody. Let's hit it. Let's hit it. There we go. I'm slow. Sorry. Football picks week 11. Good to have you all here. Let's recap all the scenarios. So, it is yours truly at the top for the week. 3-1 in picks. Yeah, I mean, I think this is the first winning week in quite a while, so I'm glad for it. I'll take it. We'll try to keep it continue. And on we go. John in Connecticut was in second place. John is sending the picks via the text net, unfortunately. He was not feeling the greatest as of the evening. Just a little. He said just needed to rest a bit. We're good for that, John. So last week John went 2-2. Ron down with a cold. Unfortunately, he can't make it either. So he sends picks via the text as well, and he went 1-2-1. So again, John 2-2. Ron was 1-2-1. Andy was 1-3 for the week, and Kevin also 1-3, which gives us these standings. It is John hanging on to first place at the top at 19-18-1. Andy's in second at 17-21, and I'm tied with Andy for second at 17-21. Ron is in fourth place at 15-22-1, and Kevin is in last place at 14-24. Oh, King is in. Carly's in here too. What's going on, everybody? Let's go give you all some shout outs in just a moment. But first, let's introduce you to all the folks in the panel that we have tonight. Good panel. Let's do the thing. Here we go. Make sure I got this button. There they come. Okay, cool. Great. I pushed a button and it worked. Kevin, welcome back. Welcome back, not Dave. How are you tonight?
Dave's on a roll. Andy's cursing. He's watching the vote tabulations from Arizona. He's getting a little pissed. Maricopa County's coming in late. West Coast clowns over there.
I'm sure.
That's what he's watching.
Among the many things that. Well, Andy.
I mean, he could be in the Nevada Senate mix. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what happens out there.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I was getting nervous because I didn't see Andy and obviously John and Ron. I was like, wow, they're gonna do a recap with me, who spent his whole weekend with a 19-month-old. I can talk about potty training and not drinking and not smoking cigars and not doing anything fun. But how's everyone doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. I mean, it's been a day. It's been most of a day, but overall, it's been.
Andy
fun.
looks mad.
Yeah.
Andy looks really mad.
Andy's fired up about something for sure. What's going on, Andy?
I'm fucking pissed.
What's
I'm
the?
watching my match, and I've playing fucking golf on the PS4. I don't have a Twitch for my video game, but I was playing golf, not playing well
Oh
on my
no.
online society. Yeah, PGA 2K23,
Ooh, new game.
great game.
I like it.
But yeah, I am a hard right Republican,
No, you're
and
not. Come on.
All right.
Red wave. No, I don't give a flying you know what, but it is
Red wave tsunami.
exact. The red tsunami. Don't. I'm just messing around. No, but I am pissed with my match, and we won't get into details. I went 3-0 last night, but I not looking so good right now. But we'll see. We got second half of these games. I also had a long fucking day of work, and I haven't even made my picks yet. So I'm gonna,
Oh, okay.
while we're chatting, I'm gonna make some picks.
Wow, I had the total opposite. I literally could have read a book and took a nap today at work. It was just one of those days I was like, I don't got shit to do.
That's great.
It's gonna be, it'll be rough tomorrow and the next day, but like every once in a while, it's nice. You're like, who I'm all caught up.
We need.
And everyone doesn't know who needs me. This is great.
I was trying to shoot. Oh, Monmouth Seton Hall playing tonight. I hope Michael Plodwick's at the game. He actually is at the game.
Of course.
He went to a beer garden with all his hoity-toity friends. And Tommy, I don't know if he's going to be there, but he made sure to let us know that he was going to the game tonight. And he's seeing Frankie Valli next week. He's 88 years old. Frankie Valli, Count Basie. My God, I want to be a Plodwick when I grow up.
We should inform our chat. By the way, Andy and Kevin, I highly recommend putting up the chat tonight. The chat is really into it tonight, and Carly Sings is in our chat. So Carly Sings plays ukulele and guitar on stream, a singer songwriter, and a great friend of ours.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
Yeah. She's got a new single out too. So it's called "Wasted." But anyway, she says in response to Andy's opening, "Oh, he mad." Oh my gosh. SFX Pine says, LOL flying, you know what, after 6 F-bombs. We love it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, everybody. So, yeah, follow our good friends, Carly Sings and King Downbreakers in our chat, too. So welcome in, everybody. We're glad to talk some sports with you tonight. We'll talk about Maction. We'll talk about the SEC. We'll talk about the ACC, that pile of rubble that it is these days. You know, all the things. So yeah, let's get to it. I mean, we have a lot to recap here, and Andy, there should be plenty of time to compile some picks together. So I'll actually give it to Kevin first, so you can have a little extra time. Although you were just saying what you did this weekend.
I would prefer to talk about Anderson Cooper's new glasses.
John King in the motherfucking house.
Yeah.
Really?
This is a John King show, by the way.
This is a John King show, Dave. Don't even start.
John King slander will not be tolerated.
All right.
None.
Duly noted.
Get out.
Duly noted.
Out.
Man, I'll tell you what, like 2 years ago, I was so familiar with all the people at CNN. I'm like, I knew them by first name at that point. You know, it's like,
just say the King.
Just say the King?
Just the King.
Deal. Done. Done.
So Dave, yeah, no, I came here for Andy's energy, which I've already been paid off. I did come here for John's facial expressions when you say weird things, and he just looks like Jim from The Office, like he does a little. So yeah. I got nothing except for I really did enjoy the Brian Kelly "How does my ass taste?" Nick Saban.
Nice.
I remember about 8 weeks ago when he lost his opening game in LSU. It was like, oh, he doesn't know the ACC. He's going to eat him alive. Well, turns out old man had a nice little trick up his sleeve going for 2 with the balls the size of fucking cannons. And otherwise, everything else turned upside down. I love chaos.
Yeah.
I'm not like I like Clemson losing, even though Notre Dame is whatever is Notre Dame. I like TCU winning. I got excited when I saw like a monsoon going around Ohio State, but that didn't work out in the end. And yeah, I can't break down any of these things like Andy or John can, or you for that matter. So I like chaos. We're getting closer to it. Georgia's still phenomenal, but the rest, Ohio State and Michigan are play soon.
Yeah,
I have no idea what's going on. Just like Andy, I wrote down 5 games literally 3 minutes ago. So at some point I'll cross 3 of them off and get 2 picks out of it. And let's see, Dabo, Dunzo, Jimbo. Jimbo, one of Andy's our favorites. Texas A&M going down again. I noticed he didn't score at all in the second half, which I was always told as a kid that was like the sign of like good coaches, that halftime adjustments. So much for that. And my last thing before we go to Andy on college football and basketball for that matter, SMU Houston, what the F? 77-63. In case anyone is wondering, I know Andy's wondering. He probably actually already has this information because he's a savant. But in February of this year, Houston beat SMU 75-61 in basketball. So the football teams outscored each other, their basketball counterparts last weekend, which is bananas.
I think Gary Parrish made that point on Twitter, like the same point. Like that's so weird that
I only follow you and Andy on Twitter.
No, that's all right. No worries. No, I thought I heard that secondhand too. So like, but that's an insane score in football.
You should see my Twitter follow. It's Dave, Andy, and like 17 cardiologists, like Heart News, and you guys, and then Andy going like, fucking, David Shaw, Pat Fitzgerald, like it's great. And then it's like, you do know that taking turmeric doesn't really help heart. I'm like, yep. And then Dave promoting his shows. I ended up watching Dave play Super Mario Brothers for 10 minutes the other night.
Yep.
That was anxiety inducing. That game,
right?
Whew, I didn't want to bother you while you were playing, but I was watching it for about 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, whew, that's too much. It's too much.
I was feeling it toward the end of that stream too. Like we were talking about Super Mario, the Lost Levels. That is an extremely hard game. Like you think regular Mario is tough, like you try Lost Levels. Like that's aggravating.
And I can't pick a game. I mean that's obvious. It's just which is fine. I'm last. It's great. I think I'm gonna take pride. I don't want to finish second or third or fourth. It's either first or last. I've always been that way.
You're like the Padres.
So I'm gonna come up with some doozies. Like it's either this or my Cubs hats downstairs. That's what I usually wear.
That's true. Cubs too. There's never much of in between with those guys.
We had Cody's there's some rich guy who is in the same school as our son, and so he invited the whole school to Halloween to his house, and there was like horses, and I had no costumes as you can imagine except for my Cubs hat was in the car. Yep. So they're like, "What are you?" I'm like, "I don't know, like." Glutton for punishment. That's all I could come up with.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm really glad I'm really glad the chat's enjoying your all company tonight. So yeah, feel free to keep commenting on all the games, anything else you saw over the weekend. I love these anecdotes tonight. It's actually a good night for this because
I was in the chat, Andy. Dave's people are not ready for Andy. This is going to be.
I don't know. It seems like everybody's enjoying it so far. I mean, Carly's all about
I'm sure
it.
they're enjoying it. They just this is a new slant. They're a little familiar with me now, but
right.
He's gonna start throwing something at the TV soon. I can tell about looking at
there is kind of a feel of that, yeah. I have to say. Which game are you on? Right? Which game are you watching at the moment, Andy? Because I think there are a couple.
I'm watching Central Michigan Buffalo. I'm watching Northern Illinois Western Michigan, I don't have Kent State Bowling Green on at the moment because. It's not very close. And then we're paying attention to Brooklyn versus New York Knicks. We got Minnesota Wild, Anaheim Ducky Ducks starting, and then we'll have some West Coast Conference. We got some West Coast college basketball in the form of Florida Gulf Coast versus San Diego, and then we've got South Dakota State versus Boise State. But I'm going out to dinner after this. But we got, we don't even have to talk about sport. We got. No John, no Ron tonight.
Going out to dinner after this. Jesus, what are you like? A Studio 54 over there?
West Coast. I didn't.
Still though, it's going to be like 9:00.
I can't eat before 8. I don't eat lunch before 1.
These two guys that we're friends with, they're like, "Hey, let's go get tacos at 8:30." I'm like, 8:30 at night? Are you insane?
Perfect timing.
This is the only time I'm up.
Andy's all about 8:00, Junk man. Like
I don't even. Dave eats late because Dave's always. Dave's always eating. That's just his MO. But,
So
Hence the name, right? That's kind of what it is.
The time is relevant when it comes to that.
no, I did have a non-sport rant I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
Hey, I feel like maybe I'll change my background at some point, but like my silhouette, it's like Anakin. It's like the Star Wars, like Yoda, Anakin Skywalker.
I do kind of see that. Yeah, I see that.
Right.
I see that.
But yeah, my non-sport rant, and you guys can pile on or like. There's no respect for autumn. There's zero respect for autumn, and what I mean by that is retail shoves autumn up our asses in August.
Right.
All right? In August, it's back to school. It's pumpkin spice, but it's August. We're trying to enjoy our fleeting moments. August is still peak summer. Second half of August, we're trying to enjoy our fleeting moments of summer, but retail is just shoving autumn stuff where the sun don't shine. And then October is Halloween in your face. And then the second October 31st turns to November 1, it's like autumn doesn't matter anymore. And we're into ho, 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 jingle bell, green, red, wreaths, hotel lobbies got the Christmas tree. There's holiday jingle commercials as we speak. And to be fair, November is still peak autumn. November, we should have cornucopia, we should have pumpkin, we should have orange, we should have yellow, we should have brown. Autumn is November. And then after Thanksgiving, you get into but it's November 9th, and there's Christmas shit everywhere I look. And autumn gets 1 month. It gets 1 month. And there's just no respect for autumn.
Dude, on Tuesday I drive Cody to school every morning. Turn right out of the driveway, turn on the radio, and a friggin' Christmas song came on, and I was like, hell no. And for the rest of the day, apparently at school, he was going, hell no. And I'm like, yeah, he's 4, whatever.
Yeah, he picks up on that.
I'm with you, man. It's bullshit, and it's the retail, just like our politics buddies. They appeal to the morons.
LCD.
They want to just shovel more crap in their house. And you're right. You know what? It's actually more, well, you hit on something that's even more annoying to me is the pumpkin spice on August 15th. That actually even makes me even more mad because it's like, no, stop. And Dave's eating again.
Dave's eating. What do you got? A little candy?
No,
he was eating a bologna sandwich. I didn't know they still made those.
This is a Smucker's Uncrustables sandwich.
Where do you find this stuff?
At the grocery store.
You guys live in cities, actual cities with like.
But
we don't have that stuff out here. We have like the four main kinds.
I do want to mention
the other Halloween antidote I had, and because it was last Monday, and I was guilty of it. I didn't do it too often because it's a really dickhead thing to do. But when you're a teenager and you're 12, you do bad things and go egging houses. And you have to be like a real mean adult to be targeted we're going to target Greg or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
We're egging this guy's house. And like, even when you're a kid and you egg a house, it's like you really have to really hate the adult in the neighborhood to be like, yeah, that guy, we're egging that guy's house. And because one of my neighbors is like a prime candidate for like, you're such an asshole. You probably I know you're not, no one's egging this condo because it's not like a neighborhood, but like, I bet if you lived in a neighborhood, like kids would egg your house because you're such a cranky fucking curmudgeon.
The last guy I remember whose house got egged was Albert Bell.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Cranky guy.
Really?
And then he got his car out and drove over half the neighborhood.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Wow.
Speaking of bologna, did you ever, and this is a real bad thing to do because I don't know, it's urban legend. I don't know if the paint really peeled off. Did you ever put bologna on a car on Halloween?
No.
Listen, my dad was a cop, and every year before Thanksgiving, I got like a talk, and it was like, I'm gonna find out what you did before you even come home. Like when the one year when I was like, I don't know, 12, he gave me the shaving cream, and he's like, you can Here it is. You can spray the street and the curb, and that's it. If you spray someone's house, someone's car, I was like, well, I don't even want this stupid thing anymore. It took all the fun out of it. Even friends who were like, just like Andy's saying, let's egg this like that. I'm like, nope, not me. He'll find out. He'll take you all down, and I'll be guilty by association. Went and got my little candy, went home.
That's a really good question. I've never thought about. I've never actually seen anyone do it either. So that's interesting. How about yourself?
Yeah, there are all those things. Remember, like the razor blades and apples.
Ugh.
There was like all those stupid little rumors. Who's first of all, who's giving out apples? Those people. Those are the ones who get their house egged.
Yeah.
People giving out apples, and then you
right.
put razor blades
Carly's
in,
on
you
the
go to
same
prison.
page. Carly's feeling all this. Like, first off, she said, "I love Christmas, but I agree with Andy's point. Like, it's just it is outrageous." And then. Yeah, who would give out apples and walnuts? Walnuts, do you remember? Yeah, I'll remember walnuts.
Walnuts.
Raisins.
So Cody got raisins. He also got this it was in this little package.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, what is that? It looked like something Andy might have carried through high school, for a little smoke break, and it was tea. And I was like, who's giving a little kid chamomile tea?
I can't even with tea.
I mean, we don't. Cody, he's never had sugar like outside of maple syrup and all that stuff, and so let him have one thing. He picked. I was like, you pick your favorite thing. So he had his blow pop, and I'm like, he has no idea what's about to happen. And we sit down for dinner, and he is like, he was just watching him just devolve into this sugar crazed lunatic. He was like, and we could do this, and we could do that, and I'm gonna put your broccoli on my plate, and I do this, and it was hysterical. And my wife was like, we can't be mad at him. We let him have one, but it was astonishing the transformation on his first hard line sugar straight into the veins.
Oh man, once it gets you, it gets you.
Clark County's not at the thumbs up their ass, Andy.
Oh, Nevada.
Dave loves it. Dave despises when I talk politics and religion. You just see it on his face.
Is John King on tonight? I haven't put on.
Of course, I don't think he ever left.
Dude, and then we'll talk about last Saturday if you want.
We don't. At this point, we don't have to. I mean, I think we've said what had to be said about it.
No, we haven't.
We haven't.
Not all of Andy's bad
Andy
beats, backdoor covers.
Wants to say things that have to be said. We should definitely allow it.
Well, I remember the 2020 election. I don't know if you guys remember that. Dave
and I did a show.
Yeah, true story.
Dave and I were on for 6 hours.
True.
I remember John King was like, I gotta go home and shower, and I'm coming back to the studio.
Yeah.
And he did. That election coverage went for weeks. It felt like a week. Remember that?
It was a full week, Dave. You're right. When they officially, I remember it was I think Friday they declared Biden was the winner. I feel like it was a Friday, but I could be wrong.
It has been.
We still have friends on the board that think. Never mind. But
let's not go there. Let's not go there. But yeah, it was definitely one of the more memorable experiences, and it was really kind of it was really good to have you with do a show on the old feed, of course. But
one of those, where were you? Why was it my house? What's in the election?
Well, I was gonna get to that. This election was unique because nobody could go anywhere at that time. We were all just home, just watching it in our pajamas,
that's the other one.
The whole time because we're still on shutdowns and everything. So it's it
was the first time two people realized their humans have to actually count these ballots. Take some fucking time, relax. People do it differently. They had no idea. It's astonishing. People go through life not realizing that states do things differently.
Yeah.
Every state has their own way to certify these things. So just calm the hell down. And it's just that
we did have
ones
that was
Arizona has done this. Arizona's done this for 50 years. It's just now that things are closer.
Yeah. It's one of the greatest cases of let it breathe. Andy would always talk about, you got to let it breathe, and that was the ultimate let it breathe moment. People were really jumping the gun on the results.
Oh my
back
goodness!
Then. It was really interesting. Yeah. So anyway, we do have a hard out tonight. So let's go back to Andy, and I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on last week's action. I know there's plenty to talk about there. So let's hear what you got.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. I mean, I'm not. You root for Alabama, but I mean, I don't. Like, I bet on them. I like when they win, but I mean, I'm not. I'm not like I'm not like a subjective clown, and I know when they're having like a down year for their standards, and they're having a down year this year. And I also know that Brian Kelly is as a human being, a tremendous piece of shit, but he's also a good coach. And that was a great game. That was a big win for that LSU program. Now, I'm not saying 5 years from now he's going to leave that program high and dry and just bail out on his kids because, I mean, he's already done that at Cincinnati. He did that at Notre Dame. He's got a massive ego, and that is a signature win in that program, and he's going to get a lot of mileage out of that. And, anytime Alabama goes down, it is people celebrate, people go crazy. And it's like, it's like when the Yankees lose, it's when the Bulls in their prime lost, it's when 49ers in the 90s lost, it's big. It's when Duke lost, when Coach K was at the top of his, kingdom. People like to see those big programs fail. Even when Tiger Woods goes down, people like that. Panther. So that happened. And so, yeah, Alabama is not going to be in the playoff equation this year. Clemson, that was great to see because no one wants to see Clemson in the playoff. And so they sealed their fate. Dabo Swinney wearing that Russell Athletic sweatshirt like it's 1992. I'm not against Russell Athletic sweatshirt from 1992. Just the way he wears it. It's like you are. What are you, Dabo? But hey, Dabo's gonna be Dabo, and he's gonna wear that sweatshirt all the time. So down goes Clemson, and I'm just. John was 100% called it with Baylor beating Oklahoma. That was nice to see. Tulane. So there are three teams. We'll just mention two teams, actually. Actually, we'll just mention the one team, Tulane. But there were actually three schools that were in quote-unquote letdown positions. Tulane was one of them because this week they have a huge game against Central Florida in Louisiana or on Tulane's campus. They're ranked. They have a chance to go to represent the group of five conferences in the New Year's Eve / New Year's Day big bowls, which there are 6 of them. And, only one team out of the group of 5 gets to go. And right now Tulane owns that, owns that path to get there. Now, like I said, they have this big game this week against Central Florida. But before that, they had to take care of business against Tulsa, which they did. So shout out to Tulane. This program has been high on Willie Fritz and in the quarterback Pratt for a couple of years now. So that was nice to see. Just some of the other nonsense last week. The Georgia-Tennessee game. Why? How can we not forget Georgia-Tennessee? I thought Georgia giving the 9 was the play to make. Just like I also thought LSU getting the points was a play to make, but I switched it last minute because I'm a moron and I took Alabama giving the 13 in real life. But I did take Georgia -9, and their defense is just too powerful. And this is not like Tennessee's still really good this year. It's not like, they're overrated, they couldn't handle. I mean, Georgia, besides like the little hiccup against Florida in the second half, like they've just kind of bulldozed everybody. And so the path for them to get to the playoff, I mean, they're in. Like they could lose in the SEC championship game by 50. They're in. So good job out of Georgia. And right now, I'll mention TCU, another fortunate cover because they scored on a punt return when they blocked, a legal block on the punt return like 5 different times with clips and blocks and all that good stuff. And then there was another situation where phantom PI. But anyway, TCU, another lucky win for them. I think their pumpkin time is going to come this week against Texas in Austin. Texas with 2 losses, they're giving 7 to the undefeated TCU. So, I mean, that just kind of shows you right there who the team to play is, in my opinion, and I think that's a Texas Longhorn. But yeah, so TCU right now is number 4 in the playoff picture, and they've rightfully earned it because they're undefeated. And let's just see. Yeah, there's a lot of nonsense that we can just kind of skip. Kevin already mentioned how much of a doormat Texas A&M is, and when we do the picks, maybe we'll talk about that, and then just kind of sets us up for the Pac-12. Actually is relevant again between Oregon and USC and even UCLA. They're all kind of in it for one of those playoff spots. I would say Oregon has a better chance than USC, and then USC has a better chance than UCLA. But we'll just see what happens. It was a great day of watching the college pigskin and just observing all the nonsense from top to bottom.
Yeah, very exciting day for a lot of these games. But you were you had a good call with Georgia, and I was on that too. I believe that was one of my picks. It made sense. It made sense because like Georgia's defense was great. There's a lot of recency bias with Tennessee, and I just thought, what's going to happen with a great defense plays Tennessee? And I feel like they have a lot to prove there, and I feel like they still have a lot to prove after the game. Like they were completely schooled by Georgia. So really good stuff, Andy. I mean, the action was great, as you mentioned. Cal getting it done too, by the way, like covering the spread against SC late in the night. Not entirely unpredictable, but let's move ahead then, and let's get to our picks for this week. You mentioned a couple games that you feel like you might have on the radar there. I feel like I'm in the same wavelength with you on a couple of them. Well, we'll see. So let's start with... we're going to start with my picks. Okay, cool. I can do that. You mentioned TCU, and they definitely are... you mentioned they really... I mean, more than any team I can think of this year are due... not only just to lose, but just to get their butt kicked. I just feel like they've gone by in a lot of luck so far. And what I didn't really check, though, with this game was whether... Well, I mean, TCU clearly would be ranked at this point, right? But is Texas unranked is the question. And see if you know...
Texas is ranked.
Oh, Texas is ranked too. Okay. So then it's not the case of the unranked team getting favored over a ranked team. But it's kind of close to that because... you're thinking of, like, well, TCU's ranked higher. Why aren't they the favorite? But look, folks, it's just ridiculous. Like, I think they've been very, very fortunate to be undefeated at this point of the season. Very, very fortunate. Texas is clearly a more talented team. They've got a better quarterback. I'm going to go with Texas, giving the 7 against TCU. Don't be scared of the big number. I just think TCU's about to get schooled one of these weeks. It's going to happen. And this is the week where I think it happens. So that's game number 1. Game number 2, same scenario for Oregon. We just keep thinking Bo Nix is going to have that bad game, and he keeps throwing touchdowns. I feel like there's no data here, but I just think that Washington's going to find a way to stay in this game against Oregon. It's going to happen. Bo Nix is going to Bo Nix the game. He's going to play like crap, and he's going to throw them under the bus. It's going to happen. Now, Michael Penix is kind of similar to Bo Nix in where he can be really touch and go with his passing accuracy. That's a significant issue. I totally get it. But I feel like a lot of people are going to be on Oregon, so I think I got the value side of this. So Washington getting 13.5 to go with Texas giving the 7 for week 11 here in college. Carly says, gonna report for some modding before bed. Take care, Davey and friends. Enjoy the rest of the show. Carly, thank you so much for joining us. Well, appreciate you. Pump it up. It's good to see you here in the chat tonight. Thank you very much. Folks, give our friend Carly Sings a follow. Carly_Sings. If you're not following already, and particularly if you're listening on the podcast, go over to twitch.tv/Carly_Sings and check out her channel. It's a really good. It's a really cozy vibe. Good times. So there it is. There are the picks for week 11. Let's move ahead to John's picks who are sent in via the text. and John has these two picks for us. Okay, so for John, hope you're doing all right, John. Nice to hear from you in the text today. Here we go. The first game number 1. John is going to go with he's gonna go with Navy getting 15.5 at home against Notre Dame. Game number 1. Game number 2, he's gonna take Arkansas getting 3.5 against LSU. After LSU just had that dramatic overtime victory, which Andy, as Benji mentioned, included going for 2. Bold, but profitable in this case. Oh, thank you for the follow, Javo. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. All right, and so those are John's picks for week number 10. Week 11. 11. I had the wrong button. Week 11 in college football. All right, so now let's move ahead again. And we'll go to Ron in New Jersey's picks for Week 11. Here we go. And Ron's picks are Ole Miss getting 11.5 at home against Alabama.
12, actually.
Oh, you got 12? Okay, I'll give him 12. I'll give him 12. Yeah. Ron doesn't seem to get the best odds. I feel like all of us seem to get
Gotta get that action up!
Absolutely. Action is where it's at. I'm absolutely with you. I'm with you. So Ole Miss plus 12 against Alabama. And he will also go with Clemson giving 7 against Louisville. That's a good call on his part because you don't want to overreact to Clemson losing like that. So Ole Miss plus 12, Clemson minus 7, Ron in New Jersey, Week 11. There we go. All right, let's get back to it. So now let's go to Andy in Seattle, and if your picks are ready, we're ready for you.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, I'm gonna be. I mean, they're not ready. I just went through them like a fool, but I'm gonna play the excuse machine. Like I am not gonna be mindful of like, oh, don't go checker on a checker, don't go checker on a checker anymore, because that's why I went 1 of 3 last week because I heard people's picks. I was like, I won't take that. But yeah, I'm playing the excuse card. So anyway, all that to say, I'm going to go checker on a checker with game number 1 because I don't want to, I'm not going to punt on this game because Ron took it. I need to fucking improve on my 1 and 3. So game number 1, I'm taking Ole Miss getting 12 on the Action app line. And we could, just talking about now, we could easily, now I'm seeing like a flip side of this and get burnt because when Alabama lost to Tennessee the next week, they took out their frustration on Mississippi State and Mike Leach. In fact, as I mentioned at the time, like for whatever reason, poor Mike Leach, in the last 3 times they played Alabama, it's after an Alabama loss, and Mike Leach just bends over and has to take it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I'm my mindset's different this week because obviously it's not Mississippi State, it's Mississippi, and it's not Mike Leach, it's Lane Kiffin, and Ole Miss has a lot to play for. Ole Miss is only has 1 loss. Now the problem with Ole Miss, to get to the SEC title game, they do not have the tiebreaker with 2-loss LSU. Now, because LSU, they lost their second loss, which was the first loss of the year, was against Florida State out of the conference. LSU has a tiebreaker over Ole Miss in the conference because LSU beat Ole Miss. So anyway, Ole Miss needs some help to get to the championship game because they do, because they lost to LSU. All this to say, Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban have a little bit of a spicy history. And Lane, he's a jackass. He's arrogant. He talks like shit for like a coach. But their offensive system is very high profile when it clicks. The problem with Ole Miss this year is they start the games like Michael Jackson out of the cannon in the Super Bowl, but then they get dead in the second half, as we saw when they played LSU. But John mentioned last week this might be like a Super Bowl. Like we're going all in. Like Lane Kiffin wants to beat Nick Saban. and you're getting 12. And on the flip side with Alabama, like they have nothing to play for now at this point. They're not going to the playoff. They might just kind of be very deflated. As you know, Alabama, sometimes when they play in the bowl games that aren't the playoffs, they kind of lay eggs. So motivation for Alabama, lack of it might be a real thing. Having said that, and why, that's basically my justification for Ole Miss plus 12, game number 1. And game number 2, I could go checker on a checker with Dave with Texas, but I'm gonna take Auburn, giving 1.5, hosting Texas A&M. They're like, hold on, why are you taking Auburn? But if Brian Harson's gone, their program is messed. Well, I'm taking them because Brian Harson is gone, and the interim coach is Cadillac Williams. We all know him as the running back who also played the Auburn back in the day.
I remember.
And he might not know X's and O's, but he's just the interim coach. They rallied. They lost a close game to Mississippi State last week. They're getting 12. They covered. But the game's at home, and Texas A&M is an absolute corpse. They can't defend. Their coach is, he reminds me of Ron DeSantis. He's just an absolute clown, Jimbo Fisher. And they are just an absolute hot mess. Last week they played Florida. The final score was like 47-30 something. Their defense was just atrocious. They had aspirations to win the SEC this year. They are now 3-6, going nowhere. And I think Auburn is just gonna, instead of playing out the string with the no Brian Harson, they're gonna rally around Cadillac Williams, who obviously is a program legend, and they'll find a way to beat the doormat known as Texas A&M. So give me Auburn minus 1.5 for game number 2 on the week 11.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. Thank you for the pick, Sandy. Good luck, and let's do the thing. All right. So Dara Hayden Music has joined the chat. What's going on, Dara? Welcome in. Dara's a music streamer too, so let's give our friend Dara a follow if you're not already. Shout out to Dara. Here's the link in the chat for those of you on Twitch if you want to go give a hang. Also, really good at trolling people in chat. So like we love it. We really welcome that sort of thing here because it's all in good fun. It's all good fun. So it's nice to see you, Dara. Welcome in. All right, Kevin, let's get your picks for week 11. I mean, as you mentioned, where you are this season, nowhere to go but up. So
listen, anything can happen. And as we know, Dave, I would like perfect example is the last time I checked, 1,927,419 people voted for Herschel Walker. So anything can happen. There's no nothing will surprise me anymore.
Wait, you mean the running back?
Yeah, the running back.
Yeah, Dave, you haven't been paying attention?
No, I did hear references to this. I was like, that's crazy. That's like when they voted Jesse. No, let's not. Anyway,
it's gotta go to a runoff.
Oh my God!
Going to a runoff December 6th. Ted Cruz is already showing up tomorrow for the first rally. It's gonna be lit, man. Yeah, almost 2 million people voted for Herschel Walker.
That's okay.
Just walking seat.
Give me a minute to process that, but carry on.
I think there's another state that's gonna go to a runoff too because there's a third party and they're getting enough votes, so neither of the main candidates are going to get to 50%, so it's like an automatic runoff.
You mean for governor?
Yeah, I forget which state. John King was talking about.
Yeah, there's a big purple thing going around. I can't. For some reason, the independents they make purple now. I feel like that's new. I would have picked a different color, but I guess red and blue, whatever. I want to say that's Oregon, but I could be wrong. Oh, it's Alaska, I think.
So the Oregon's there's 3 women all running for governor, which is 20 years ago would never have happened, so it's just kind of crazy.
Your old place, my new place, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
First gay woman, I think, governor.
And the mayor is a woman. But the guy that anyway, enough of
It's not all crazy, Dave. It's not all crazy. There are some progressive people out there.
Good to know. Good to know.
Illinois, congressman, first gay male gay congressman ever. I mean, people,
Huge.
it's not all-
Dave, they turned down gambling in your state.
I'm not getting into that tonight because that's going to extend the show another half an hour. I do not want to get into that tonight. I am very upset about it. You know what I did for the first time in a long time? I did a Facebook post. That's how upset I was. I was that upset. So
solid. Did you you update your MySpace page?
I don't like posting on Facebook. That's how mad I was. I was just I don't.
Okay, well.
Anyway, sorry. I didn't
so
mean to
you
interrupt.
guys have got me to cross off 2 of just listening to you. So now I have to cross off 1 more. But no one picked our family team this week, Tulane. So I'm gonna go with with the boys.
Okay.
Doing my part for the show team, team of the show of the Dave Sandwich Show. I think it's -1, but Andy can tell me. And the other one, I'm going to stay with. This is more of an anti. I think the wheels have completely fallen off the Carrier Dome folks, Syracuse. I think they started out 6-0. They're 6-3 now. So I'm taking Florida State -6.5 in upstate New York.
All right.
I love it because Tulane. I wrote it down. Tulane was going to be one of the picks.
I feel like we got a good thing going. They're like the team of the show. So I was on. The other one was Ole Miss and Alabama, and you guys are all so.
Okay.
I feel good. I don't feel as good as that. I did have a 1 week where I was like 4-0, and that was it. And I think I only have 4 or 6. I don't feel that good.
Well, let's go see. Now you have more than 4. You have more than 4, but
14. That's rough, Dave. You just said it was week 11.
Well,
I'm averaging like 1 point. Dan Andy's the math. 1.2 wins. It's horrible.
Yeah. So let me just I got you for Tulane, but what was the other one again? If you don't mind me.
Florida State.
Oh, FSU. Wow, nice, good call. Okay, so cool. All right, great. So those are the picks. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you. So that'll take care of the picks for this weekend. And hey, Davey's not bottom. Let go.
What was that?
Dara, that's great. Dara Hayden in the chat says, "Hey, Davey's not the bottom. It's close though.
No,
it's
that's
close."
That's why he added me to the show this year, so he didn't have to be on the bottom.
We haven't had any. It's Dave's show, so we're not telling Dave how to do his own show. But he got rid of the revolving guest picker.
Well,
I think Dave, the original plan, he wanted me to be the guest picker in week 1, and he hasn't let me leave.
I guess so.
Because I was a guest picker. I've been a
guest
guest picker each time you guys done it, but like only for 1 week.
Yeah.
I've shown up like week 7, 10, whatever. Made a fool of myself and then went home.
Yeah.
But
I certainly
it's like I just don't leave now. I got no one to talk to, guy. Everybody's asleep in my house. Andy's ready to go out for fucking sushi at 9:00. My whole house is asleep at 7:30.
Time zones, man.
Yep. True story.
Time zones and 2-year-olds.
But I'm so glad you're part of the regular rotation, though. That's why I was like, this is too good to like just have you on for just a week. So that's why I just kept you.
Well, thank you. And on the good side, on the positive side, the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old are sleeping. They're not waking up. So running in here and having Cody have to meet Andy this way, that wasn't the plan.
Yeah. Yep. But thank you for the picks, Junkman. And Dara says, Davey rigging it. Hey, listen, I get it's kind of, I wouldn't say that.
Possible. I mean, it's election. She's that's.
I was gonna say, like, I was gonna say that too. I'm like, it seems like an apropos time to be bringing up the thought of rigging things.
Perfect timing. I mean, how else? All these gay people win elections. No, just kidding.
No.
It was a joke. Everybody, calm down.
I know, just a joke. But folks, let's get into this week's action and some pretty juicy matchups. So here, if you take a look at what's coming up, Andy teased it with the pick. Alabama, number 9 Alabama going to number 11 Ole Miss. And did Ole Miss even play last week? I think they might even be coming off a bye, which is kind of nice. It's a good spot for them.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah. So that's on CBS at 3:30 Eastern time. Number 22 UCF against number 17 Tulane, and y'all teased that one. Good call. I definitely love this matchup. This is huge for Conference Conference USA? Yeah, or is
American.
it American? Yeah.
AAC.
Yeah, AAC. So, AAC 3:30 Eastern on ESPN2. And number 25 Washington is going to number 6 Oregon. This could be a potential trap game for the Ducks in the Pac-12 at 7:00 Eastern on Fox. And then I don't know if I necessarily agree with including this, but we have number 19 Kansas State going to Baylor at 7:00 Eastern on FS1. Baylor's been a really tough out for a lot of teams this year in the Big 12, so I think it could be a solid game. And then the big game of the week, number 4 TCU, who we all think is gonna fall in their butt at some point, will be going to number 18 Texas in Austin at 7:30 Eastern on ABC. So those are your games of the week. So let's go back to Andy. Let's get your thoughts on this week's action.
Hold on, sorry. I'm trying to follow this MAC game. Fuck. Because I was like, why that happened? If they converted 4th down, I wasn't paying attention. Fuck. God damn it. Yeah, there's crazy games here. They Dave, the Washington Oregon game, it kind of pulls at my heartstrings here because I hate the Huskies. I know, and Dave, you're trying to make a case for the Huskies. I'm just not buying it, and I just think I hate them. I hate them.
Like you want there to be a case, but you're not seeing it. I understand that.
Well, I mean, they're. I don't know if you watched the game on Friday night. They should have lost to Oregon State. Had them beat here at home. I don't know. I think Oregon has so much to play for. To borrow our friend Gamble's phrase, they're gelling. Their defense is only getting better every week. Every week. You know, that week 1 game against Georgia is a long time ago now. Throw the fucking ball. Oh, that's so fucking bad. Too bad. Anyway, that's so bad. I think Oregon is gonna rout them, but I mean it is a big game. I mean, on paper, like Washington definitely gonna get like, ooh, they could upset them, but I don't know. I won't pay too close attention to that. I think the best game I think is Tulane UCF. That's the game. I'm gonna be into that game. I'm gonna be into TCU Texas because of all the playoff implication that game has, with TCU being undefeated and them being in control of their own destiny, but also being the underdog in Austin. And I was a weirdo, I looked at the weather. It's going to be in the mid-40s in Austin Saturday night, which is a little chilly for Texas in November. I mean, it gets cold in Texas. I'm not dumb, but in November, that's still pretty chilly. Kansas State, Baylor, I mean, that could be Iowa State, Baylor. That could be Kansas State, Iowa State. That could be Baylor, Oak State. It's just one of those very generic Big 12 games that I'll obviously pay attention to and gamble on. I'll probably take Baylor. I mean, you can just see that game coming down to the last possession, 24-21, that type of game. And then, we already kind of talked about Alabama, Ole Miss. I'm just kind of scrolling through here, see if there's any other games of note. LSU Arkansas is kind of big because you wonder if LSU will have that letdown effect. John obviously seems to think so with his Ole Miss pick, but LSU actually has an outside shot of getting into the playoff if things broke right for them. App State Marshals for the degenerates, so we'll pay attention there. Some of the late night. UNC, Wake Forest, Dave, your Wake Forest team. Now, North Carolina is like the most nondescript 8-1 team right now.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be something to watch for gambling inventory. Wake Forest, North Carolina. Dave, out in your backyard, UCLA got to take care of business against Arizona, which they should, to set up that big game in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Potentially with UCLA and USC in a crusade game.
Yep. That's probably one of the best versions of that matchup in a while.
Crusade game.
Crusade game.
Crusade, like a holy crusade. Yeah. You know what's funny about that? Well, I like that series when they play on Thanksgiving weekend. But because when Notre Dame plays in Los Angeles, that game takes precedence for the Thanksgiving weekend.
Right. Yeah, that's always. Yeah, you're right. That's always the system.
When they play in South Bend, that's always in October. When they play in LA, it's always in over Thanksgiving.
Yep, and they said, I think that they said that the reason for, or maybe people speculate the reason for it is because the weather's better in October, and then the weather's better over here in November, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it makes sense. But the over/under for the North Carolina Wake Forest game is 77. What would you do? Would you take the over or would you take the under in a game like that?
Life's too short to take the under.
Yeah, I'm with it. Both these teams have allowed a lot of points this year. A lot of points. North Carolina in particular is notorious for bad defense. I think that's the way to go. Get ready for a 100-point game. All right, so Junkie, anything you would like to add as far as
what was the over in the Houston SMU game last week?
Oh, that's a great question. I'll look it up.
Oh, I don't know what it was. I could look it up, but I was thinking to myself, you scored 62 points in the game and you lose.
And you lost.
I see 66 per BetMGM. That was like what it was going in. So
yeah, no, Dave, I like how you make sure you get those five must-see games, even though you stretch a little bit.
I do. I'm trying to be.
It wasn't like when you tried to convince us to watch Wake and Boston College.
Okay, that was rough. I know.
That was rough.
That was rough. I'll never live that down. That was rough.
Next week's gonna be like John Hopkins against Townsend or something.
51 Monmouth, or no, I'm sorry.
Monmouth.
It was 50. Seton Hall 51, Monmouth 27.
Oh wow. Oh man.
I know. We know.
Not
speaking
pretty.
for John, who's not here. I'm sure he's gonna be locked into Liberty, UConn.
Oh yeah.
8-1 Hugh Freeze's boys going into UConn.
Yep.
They need UConn needs one win to get to a bowl.
Yep, and they have
Liberty's 8-1. I did not know that.
How about that?
8-1, dude.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah, 8-1, and they were talking about him already. He just signed an extension, but they were talking about him going to Auburn already.
Yeah, he is such a dirty. He's such a bad man. Auburn doesn't care about that. Like,
I know he's perfect.
He's so
that's why. But I mean, Liberty too is kind of like that's the perfect thing. Like this dirty. We don't even have to get into what he used to do, but I love that Liberty's like, yeah, fine, we'll take him.
No shame.
No shame.
No
Thank
shame.
you, Dave. That's what I was looking for.
No shame. But good on them. They worked out, right? Like Liberty had a solid year when Malik Willis was there. They were competing with everybody. Like they had some good years there with to start. So
it'll be fun. There's like Auburn is a wild card. Yeah, because Danny's right. They don't care. They have no scruples.
Nope.
It'll be interesting to see where they go. Urban Meyer, Hugh Freeze.
You have to think he's going somewhere, right? You have to think he's going somewhere.
I mean, hell no, he's so rich now.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? All these guys are loaded. All these guys who got fired. Matt Rule's got $40 million.
Dan Mullen. I tweeted this. Like, Dan Mullen went from fielding NFL job offers, one bad year at Florida, and now he's calling. He was doing the color commentary of the one of the Maxing games last night.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I mean, Herm is going back to the 4-letter. He got like $30 million. It's great to be just a really these so much to do profile on these agents because I mean these contracts, these guys are just doing shitty jobs, going away with more than the athletes, like professional athletes half the time who get injured. But
yeah, you think that so these coaches they get fired, they take the huge buyout, they do the studio work for like a year or two. I'm not smart enough to know if they have like a very short like non-compete clause for like a year.
Some contracts are written in the way like if you get a job, that salary like offsets, or they don't have to pay that. So but what's his name does not. I don't think Hugh Freeze's new extension it's pretty favorable. Like if he wanted to go to the SEC, it's not going to cost him that much. But yeah, some do like, yeah, if you got like $5 million to go somewhere, that comes all out of your buyout, so they don't have to pay it. But I think they're getting away from that too, because now they can get whatever they want. These schools are just with these TV contracts. These schools have so much money, and it's like, we'll go somewhere else. We'll take, you don't give me this, we'll go to, well, hopefully Iowa. I always go with them, but I mean, the guy at Kansas, right? So the guy at Kansas everybody loves. He's going to go interview Nebraska, a couple other places. It's like, I want $8 million, and I want so. Oh God, Herschel Walker's on my TV again.
Geez.
It's so close. It's so close.
Wow.
And that lunatic in Arizona is already talking about voter fraud. This is gonna be fun.
Oh, Carrie Lake, she's my girl. Well, she's not. But it's so close. It's so close there too. Like, and she said bigly, so our friend SP just got so. I just love this is like that little annoying kid that we all knew, like in the playground, where it's, if you win, you cheated, but if I win, it was good. It's like, are we really that, like, we're doing that? We're doing like sandbox shit now.
When you're talking about certain people, that they very much are doing that.
Well, just like
shit.
Perfect example, like Carrie Lake, like, and he's talking about if she wins by 1,000 votes, she'd be like, oh, everything was cool, it was all legit. If she loses by 1,000, be like, oh my God, it's the worst crime of the century. But like, how does that even?
It's nonsensical. It's just hard to. People are sore losers. It's unfortunate that we have
beyond
to be
sore losing, Dave.
Yeah.
Sore losing is like, going out and take one of their campaign signs off someone's lawn and throwing it across the street. That's a sore loser. These people are like criminals.
Yeah. Look,
they're being sued by the voting company for like $1 billion.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. Like, I'm with you. I do want to say hello to Mons_Samurki, by the way. Welcome into the chat. It's good to see you. I'm sorry about the tooth pain though, but welcome in. Folks who are listening on the podcast, make sure to follow Mond_Samurki at twitch.tv. And she's a great artist. Really, really good stuff. Like, really provocative.
Good honor for playing hurt. I mean, it's week 11. Everyone's playing hurt right now, so the tooth sucks. But this is welcome to the crew.
I do have a lot of respect for people who play hurt. Absolutely. I've been
playing hurt since I was 10. I mean, it doesn't get easy. Doesn't get easy.
Oh, look who's in the chat, Eddie. Look who's in the chat. Kev, look who's in the chat. Monmouth Hoops getting destroyed. Talk more FCS.
Oh, is that PFO?
It's PFO. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome in, Parcells. So good to see you today. They are getting slaughtered, folks. The score, I just saw the score. It's like 77-44. Like, just updating Andy's score. No, 73.
I'm so out of it. But I did go on to the MikeFrancis.com for the first time in like 8 months over the weekend. Say hi to some of our old buddies.
That's where I've been banished to. No, I'm just...
By who? Let's not get into that.
It'll all come to roost.
All
like,
right.
I'm playing the long game. And then I get it. And I'll give you a hint. It's when Yachts recommended being John Heyman for Halloween, and I'll leave it at that.
That's a great costume.
I'm gonna go scroll over.
John Francis, when Yachts said, "Do you think we could be John Heyman for Halloween, and how would you pull it off?" And that put a idea in my head, and we're just living through it. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Well,
it's all good. But but it's great to see PFO. That Parcells falling out, Kevin, from the old.
Oh, got it. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, it absolutely is great to see you in the chat, Parcells. Welcome in. Let us know when you start streaming. No, just kidding. But it's great to see you, Parcells. It's nice to see you again. I always enjoy your company. So let's move ahead to the NFL. Oh, Mon says, I've been playing hurt for a hot minute. Oh, I feel it. Yeah. A lot of people playing through pain. Y'all are warriors, hang in there, everybody. All right, so NFL stuff. Let's get into it. So the way it happened in the NFL, huge upsets. And I'm so bummer that Ron can be here because, man, this is his moment. His Jets, the huge upset of the Bills. Man, what a great spot. Like, just a fantastic win for the Jets. They've been feisty this year. I got to give them a lot of credit. Like, and this is despite having like almost nothing out of the quarterback position. So what are you gonna, just pretty amazing stuff. So, so Andy, I'm gonna go to you first for the recap of last week's action. This action included a Tennessee Titans team that really should have won the game. I guess, right?
There it is.
Right?
Fuck. All right. We'll touch that. Did you take Kansas City last night or last week because of the whole Andy Reid on the
I did. I took him with laying the 12 and that was gosh, crazy. Did not work out.
Same here. Yeah. Same here. But the problem with that is they were playing Tennessee, and they were playing Tennessee who was using Malik Will. They just had no respect for Tennessee, and they were spending their bye week dancing and partying and dancing. And Travis Kelce, who's an absolute clown, a very talented clown, but my God, that he threw it. Mahomes had an interception that was of the not his fault variety because it went right off Kelce's hands. But they ooze a little bit of the Golden Warriors sometimes, where the Golden Warriors they have so much talent. They've earned so much house money. They've won championships. They've set records. They have Hall of Famers on their team. They are so good. They've been so good for such a long time, where they but they play these NBA games sometimes where they are just completely going through the motions, and they can win by going through the motions, and they get away by going through the motions because they're so talented. The worst is when teams do that. They think they can do that, and they can't do that. But when you're a team like Golden State, you can do that. And when you're a team like the Chiefs, you can't do that too. That Chiefs effort last night, Dave and Kevin, reminded me of the Chiefs from the first half of last year, where we would have the talk about the Chiefs on your show, Dave, and be like, What's wrong with the Chiefs? And we'd be like, was this the week that they figure it out? Is this the week that they figure it out? And that, for the first 3.5 quarters of the Sunday night game, the Chiefs just had no respect. They had no respect for Tennessee, and they didn't want to do anything good on offense. And Tennessee's defense is atrocious. It's not very good. But all that to say, Tennessee, they competed. They hung tough. They were basically like winning or tied the whole game, and Kansas City had to get a 2-point conversion with the assist of a very questionable, defensive holding call when Kelce was the one doing all the mugging. So terrible job out of Kansas City. That Andy Reid bye week strategy just completely blew up in our faces, Dave. The Jets, Kyle Wilson and the Jets, good job out of them. I didn't think they'd win outright. I did pick them to cover. I read that they planned on just running a very conservative game plan, kind of hog the ball, chew up clock, and limit the Bills, time of possession. The Bills, and now we know, like, Allen is hurt. Maybe he was hurt in the Green Bay game. Maybe he was hurt in the Jet game, but he had thrown 4 interceptions in the last 2 games. And he was making throws that he basically you did not think was in his arsenal this year. That's how much he has kind of raised the bar, and expectations are so high for, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, all his weapons to throw to, and dinking and dunking to Singletary and the tight end Knox. But the Jets defense is good, but Allen was a little careless as well. And that was just a crazy win by the Jets. So good job by them. Buffalo is still obviously, pending on Josh Allen's injury, the team to beat in the AFC, and the Jets beat them, so they can pound their chests and do rah rah rah, and good for them. But that was a very unexpected, like, outright win. We could pick on the Packers, but I'm not wasting my breath on Aaron Rodgers. Fucking shame on them. That was their 4th straight, get right type of opportunity. And if you can't get right against the Detroit Lions, then whatever, go do more mushrooms, Aaron Rodgers, and find your leadership I don't know. He's just got bad body language. He like what's the word I'm looking for? Not call out your coach, but I don't know, just bad body language. You know, and yeah, he threw very un Aaron Rodgers. Like I think he threw 3 interceptions in the red zone. Um, one which was horrendous on 4th down. One went off a guy's helmet. Yeah, it's just a rotten season for Green Bay. We could briefly mention that L.A. Ram Tampa Bay Buck game, the Rams, the Nance Romo special. I mean, it was so gross. I mean, granted, the ending was good when the Rams couldn't get off the field, had to punt one more time, and Brady took them down with 44 seconds left. But it was not a great game by any stretch of imagination. Tony and Jim were basically mocking the absurdity of it in the punts and the 3-and-outs and the zero resemblance of any sort of cohesive, sustainable offense. But so that has to be a very long plane ride for Sean McVay and company from Tampa back to Los Angeles. And they have that game won. I mean, just get 1 first down. A good win out of Seattle. Great win out of Seattle. Taking care of business against Arizona, and now everyone's getting on that Seahawk bandwagon. I could funhouse you all. Bill Simmons, one of the biggest clowns there is. Bill Simmons, and I could find all the tweets that he said. He never liked Pete Carroll when he coached the Patriots. He never liked Pete Carroll when Seattle was up and coming with the Legion of Boom. And he didn't like Pete Carroll when he was at USC. And now, like Seahawks are legit. They're extremely well coached. Like, Bill, you hate Pete Carroll. You mock Pete Carroll for fair reasons. I mean, Pete Carroll has done some things that are worthy of him being mocked. But everyone coming out of the woodwork now, like the Seahawks are legit. It's like it reminds me of when people used to be like, "Oh, I don't know anything about Adele. Adele, I hate modern music. But Adele has my approval. Like, oh, thanks. Your opinion really counts. You wouldn't have fucked Adele if she was sitting on you. But you get the idea. Like,
I do.
Now the Seahawks have my approval. Oh, now Geno Smith is legit. Well, we've been riding Geno Smith since day one, and I have the post. I've got the receipts.
I remember it.
I thought he got a raw deal with the Jets, and this was more tongue in cheek with the Giants. Like, I thought, Eli. Everyone knew Eli was washed up, but him and McAdoo get such a bad label that they pulled the plug on Eli for Geno Smith. Like, well, who at that point you could have pulled Eli Manning for the house plant and gotten a better passing game. So, I thought Geno always got not the fairest of deals, and now he's getting his time to shine, and good for Geno. And the Seahawks are a good story at 6-3 when there's so many other duds, all the duds. And I'm talking to you, Tampa. I'm talking to you, LA Rams. I'm talking to you, Green Bay Packers. I'm talking to you. So you need some fresh blood because there's some staleness in the NFL. There's a lot of staleness. And even the Bears are playing better, guys. They're letting
Let him play.
Letting Fields play. They're just letting Fields be Fields and rolling up. That was an entertaining game.
Absolutely.
The Dolphins, the Fish and the Bears, was an entertaining game. And the other, I don't want to talk about the Commanders-Vikings game because the Washington team just completely choked and let Kirk Cousins come from behind. You're up 10, and you lose that game to Kirk Cousins. Taylor Heineke threw a horrendous interception with about 7 minutes left in that game. The one thing you couldn't do, Taylor, is throw an interception in that spot, and you did. And then you guys can go ham. You guys can go ham on the Raiders. They're another dead carcass. They're for the third time this year, they blew a 17-point lead. That's hard to do against a hapless Jaguars too.
A team that couldn't win a close game. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call the Jaguars hapless. I would just call them just way too much of a mixed bag because they're. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's basically it off the top of my head.
Okay.
NFL. ramble.
A lot of great points, though. A lot of great points in that ramble. Like, it's a really, really good. I mean, you called it Geno Smith. I did call it with the Rams, too. Like, I was down on them to start the year. I didn't think they were going to be that good. They were missing too many key personnel, particularly Whitworth. Like, there was going to be some tough sledding for them. Like, if you go back a couple weeks, like, when they had that 1st and goal from, like, the 1, and they couldn't even run the ball. Like, it took them, like, 2 penalties for them to score in that scenario. Like, that was embarrassing. Like, why would I trust them in any of these games? Like, so it's just interesting to see them kind of. It's an interesting spot. It's like that team with like 2 teams that were really going in the downward direction. So naturally, you'd expect a bad game, and you got it. But it was close. So there you go. And I'm going to be very interested to see what they end up doing against Arizona this week, because it's like, who do you trust in that one? We'll see. Kevin, anything you'd like to add as far as the NFL last week?
Absolutely not. And nailed it all. I'm just going to state that I've watched CNN now for 2 days, and I never really watched normal TV. So I'm astonished at the amount of commercials for HGH for in women, which is weird. And Hillary Clinton looks like a goblin. I haven't seen her in a long time. Holy cow. Other than that, you're still waiting for you foals on the West Coast to do your little abacuses, counting all your stuff. John King's getting a little antsy. I haven't seen him. Jake Tapper's taking most of the screen time, Andy. King must be napping.
Yeah, they pull out King for it's 10:15 out there. I don't know, maybe the 11 p.m. hour.
Yeah.
When are they going to roll out Wolf Blitzer? Like, is that going to be later? Is that tomorrow morning?
I think Blitzer's he's on the shelf, Dave. I haven't seen him.
He's up there though. He's getting up there. That's the thing. You forget how old he is.
All I know is that I looked at the lines this week, and the Raiders are favored by 6 points, which is almost
Raiders
as gross.
Colts. That is a game
That's gross.
Yeah.
That is death warmed over.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit out there in the NFL. I mean, Andy said there's a lot of people. Yeah, Andy
made that point.
Andy was being polite,
Perfectly.
actually, for how he goes.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, there is some mediocre horseshit.
It is bad. Like, I was like, we were talking about how the featured games last week were sad. Like, John pointed that out. The ones this week are just as sad. Let's go.
Oh, I can't wait for that part. Hit
Nance
that.
and Romo are doing Chiefs Jags. That's how bad. Like, they weren't going to. They might do the Browns Dolphins, but they are doing we got to get like the best team in the AFC and paired up with the doormat. That's better than like 2 mediocre teams playing each other. Jesus Christ!
Are you watching? Did you just see that too? Yeah, I'm on Western.
No, I want Northern Illinois. We're having.
We're head to head. Okay.
I'm a little bit of a witching hour.
All right.
Hopefully some Luda Lang.
The signature Luda Lang moment.
Witching hour, dude. We got Lauren Boebert is losing by like 3 votes. She's gonna.
I can't believe it's that close.
It's absurd.
She should be winning.
She's gonna show up at the election place with a AR-15.
I can't believe. I mean, we don't have to get into it, but I mean, I think we all kind of side on the same, aisle or whatever. But Jesus Christ, you Google her. My God, it's like how the whatever.
Yeah. No, she actually. If you can do a comparison with her and Taylor Green, you're like, Taylor Green's not so bad.
Oh my goodness,
this lady is batshit crazy.
Fringe.
I will say this: like, I've been a little bit more out. I have not been nearly as dialed into this election as I was 2 years ago. That's probably to my benefit. It sounds like there are a lot of whack jobs out there.
I love all this stuff. Even when I was doing the newspaper, working doing sports, I would always basically volunteer to do the elections.
Okay.
I didn't cover politics year round, but I just loved it. It was basically like just high stakes sports to me. It was
that's definitely a way to look at it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They're all full of shit. Let's not
yeah, no doubt,
both sides.
No doubt.
I mean,
we've all kind of felt very similarly. So
like none of the people that we're watching is which makes me, maybe I'm pathetic, care about me. I just it's like theater. None of them are worried about.
It's fair. That's a fair
the
point.
National Grid is going to raise our thing, 40%, and school like no, they don't care about that stuff.
Nah.
So I do get that, but then neither Andy Reid doesn't care about me either. So it's all it's all theater. He doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about Andy's. He thinks he's got the edge on Andy. Andy Reid doesn't know that.
Bet? No.
Yeah, Andy Reid doesn't know that after
goodness.
a bye week and when he's on the road, when his mustache is twinged a little bit, he's better against the spread. He doesn't care. But it's theater. We all love it. Andy always says his big thing is like, we'll still watch it.
Yeah.
So they're still gonna same thing. Yep, John King's back, and he did. He changed his jacket. Still, he's looking sharp now. It looks like he's going to a funeral.
But yeah, but that is really, just to step back on the Chiefs for a second. Like, that was absolutely ridiculous. They should have won by like 20 points. That was ridiculous. And it's like, well, what are you gonna do with that the rest of the season? Like, now what? Like, are we gonna you're gonna lay the points against Jacksonville? Like, you would think that, but then it's like, after that game, I don't know. Let's go look at featured games.
Huge controversy. The military ballots in Colorado were all weird when they got there. It's gonna be a big one. Whew. That Boebert lady.
Too close. Warnock and Walker way too close.
It's funny that we're
Too
still
close.
It is interesting that we're still going. Like, I thought that this election would be kind of over by tonight, but I guess I underestimated how close all the stuff was. Do you think this will go another week?
I don't know. We need someone like SP to soak us, but I think certain groups, certain counties were like afraid of voter fraud, so they're voting last minute instead of voting early.
Okay.
So that's why. But I don't know. I need
also, a lot of more people since COVID too, 2 years ago, not even now, are voting mail-in, and it just literally takes, like, they've got to take, like, I vote mail-in. I have 2 kids and a full-time job. There's no guarantee I was going to get there, so I get a mail-in ballot, but they got to look at my signature and match it to the signature they've got on for whatever, the DMV, whatever the government records. Then they got to take it out. So it's like, and this isn't like Carl Lewis that's doing this stuff. Like, these are the civil, it's a pain in the ass. It's repetitive motion crap. So it's like, they got to, if you guys ever went to town hall in your neighborhoods, I'm sure you have DMV. It's like, oh, time for an hour break. The whole building shuts down. Oh, yeah. So it just takes a while. I mean, and now everyone and more people are doing stuff online, voting early. I mean, it just takes time. And a lot of these little places, there's still 50. Wait, it's still only 2. There's still like 40 house races that haven't been called.
So you're saying the Tsunami still has a chance, Kevin?
I'm saying it's going to be 2.
What'd you call it? Red Tsunami?
221 to 214.
Oh boy!
When it's all over.
All right.
Well, the red wave turned to red tsunami.
It's a
nice, Andy.
It's a red. It's not even a red tide. It's like a red wave. It's like a red drizzle.
Red ripple.
Yeah, ripple. There you go. Better, Dave. Thank you. Again, it's late over here.
All right, right on.
Red ripple.
All right. Well, we got about half an hour left, so let's get to the featured games here in the NFL. And again, I think I put too many games on here, but I will.
Jesus Christ, the Commanders.
That's a judgment call. I actually think they could mix it up here with the Eagles, though, because they're in every game. That's the thing that's interesting. They're in every game. That's what's so weird about this. They really are. It's going to be a tough call for as far as that game's concerned on Monday night. And for Andy, I put Jaguars Chiefs in there at the bottom just to give Nance and Romo some love. But is it really a featured game? It shouldn't be.
No Germany game.
I thought. Well, it's because Tom Brady's been so much ass. Like, I can't.
He's back.
He back.
After that comeback win.
It was a nice win. That was a nice win for him.
He's single and ready to go again, man.
Yeah.
He's got to get out. He's out there.
Could be something to that. The rest of the slate for the featured games: Vikings versus Bills. And what are the Bills going to be now? We talked about Allen. I think it's a UCL injury, so he could be out for a very long time. That's very, very, very dicey for the Bills. So the Vikings have an opportunity here. 1:00 Eastern on Fox. Browns Dolphins. Andy talked about that. That should be a very entertaining game at 1 Eastern on CBS. Cardinals Rams is a big game for the division. That's at 4:25 on Fox. Cowboys Packers. John would have a better idea whether this is actually a good game or not. But the Cowboys definitely are good. They're coming off a bye. They're going to Lambeau, so they should win. But who knows? Chargers Niners could be a fun one. Actually, that's the Sunday night game on NBC. And then we mentioned Commanders Eagles. So there you go. Those are the featured games for Week 10. And let's go back to Andy. Let's get your look at this week's action. And there's a lot of it. There is action for sure, but probably slim pickings in terms of like top tier matchups. So let's get your thoughts and see what you think of all this.
Yeah, this is one of those weeks where there's a lot of kind of minutia you need to get through, quantity over quality. But there are some games. There are some sneaky good games. I would say LA Chargers and 49ers has potential to be very good, very entertaining. Even Commanders Eagles. Now, I only say that because it's the NFC East, which NFC East kind of gets annoying, kind of gets tedious to some people. But the Eagles have intrigue because they're undefeated. And they're undefeated. People like to see how long can the undefeated team stay undefeated. And it's a rivalry game. It's Joe and Troy. So it's going to be like throwback NFC East type of atmosphere on ESPN that night. So that's a game I'll actually get into. Vikings-Bills on paper, 4 days ago was like a very sexy game. But Josh Allen injury, now that kind of puts a big damper on it. Cowboys-Packers, when they scheduled this last spring, that was like, what a great game. Like, what a great, schedule of football we're into. Last week, on paper, Rams-Bucks was supposed to be, a team, a matchup between two great teams. It wasn't. But the thing about Packers and Cowboys, it's a wet dream for people that love uniform matchups. And old sports historians are always going to think about Packers and Cowboys in the Ice Bowl. And it's a great uniform matchup. No one's going to deny that. But in reality, it's a sad Aaron Rodgers going up against his old coach, Mike McCarthy. And it's America's team and Dak Prescott. I don't know. I won't be that into it, to be honest with you. I'm obviously going to watch it. I'll have money on it. I'll have money on the Rams Cardinals too. I have to fade Operation Fade. But the problem is I don't even think I could. The whole philosophy of take Cliff Kingsbury when he's an underdog and bet against him when he's a favorite. They're so bad. I don't know if I could take him as an underdog this week, but I might. I actually might, because the Rams look that discombobulated themselves. So we'll see. And then, the sneaky good game obviously is, I think, is Browns-Dolphins. Just because the Dolphins are kind of a sneaky good team. They're fun to watch. Tua has kind of given the big finger to his doubters. It helps to have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to throw to. And they got a sneaky good running game. And they've got the delicate genius mathematician, I smoke pot, head coach. So, and then the Browns, they just have a great running game. And actually, if you make a case that the Dolphins, one of their Achilles heel is their ability to stop the run. So I think it could be a very high scoring game, just like the Dolphin-Bear game last week.
Yeah. And speaking, the over-under for that game is only 48. I'm like, let's take the over. I'm in on the over.
Let's take the over.
Take the over. Absolutely.
Or we're going to win one action game.
Oh, okay. You have, Northern Illinois, right? Yep. There it is. That's going to be, did you take the easy money with the Clippers tonight?
No, what's that score?
Easy money.
I actually took the Lakers.
Oh, you took the Lakers. Okay.
I took the Lakers. I took the Nets.
How'd the Nets do?
They actually won. They're jealous.
Good job out of them. Nice.
It's better without Kyrie.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That's definitely slam dunk point there. Because, dude, he shouldn't even be in the league anymore. Like, he's not even that good at this point. He's all beat up, and I don't even want to get into that. But you're absolutely right, because he's what do you call? I mean, the term cancer is appropriate for him, but it's clear, right? Like, the team plays much better. It just must feel like a weight has been lifted off their shoulders. So that's good. That's good on the Nets. I'm glad they won. Okay, so Kevin, anything you want to add as far as this week's action?
Just that, shockingly for my father would easily be rolling over in his grave when he hears me say this, but I really want the Eagles to go undefeated now.
Wow.
Only because, even though being a Giant fan, only because the most annoying thing is all those old Dolphins that they just wheel out all the time, and they celebrate when the team loses. Drives me more nuts than anything. So
true.
I'm all
those.
in for the Eagles running, and it's going to be really hard. But it's like, a lot of the division. Did you play the Giants twice? I haven't even played the Giants yet.
Wow.
But they play the Packers and the Titans, and so there's some ones in there, but I'm all in for that one.
They stopped him. Fuck yeah.
And he's still alive.
And he's still alive. There you go. Man,
Dave's just rolling in the followers on Twitch.
Well, listen,
everyone's on a roll this week.
Well, I appreciate you, Chuck man, but so what? Wait, which? Wait, was that still NIU, or is that the NIU game?
No, this is Central Michigan. They were down 21-7 at halftime when we started this podcast, and they won 31-27. That's a witching
They got
hour.
the over though, so we'll take the over. But we were head to head in that game too then, because I was on the side of that. Good, no, it's nice pink there, Andy. Nice pink. We did get the over though, so we're good there. So, damn, that was a big comeback. You're right. They were like Buffalo's up by a bunch.
That was witching hour.
Yeah.
And Andy looks. The last thing I'm going to say is that looks like late January for Massachusetts sports betting, retail, and then 2 months later. So after the Final Four, they're going to do online.
Man, they're slow to trot.
Whew.
If you think Mass is slow to trot,
DraftKings trying to take him to court to speed it up. I don't think it's going to work.
At least they're moving somewhere. California can't get out of its own way because the stinking tribes keep blocking all the things.
I can't believe that.
That's just.
Oh yeah, I was listening to the radio, Dave. I heard something about card rooms. Andy probably knows what this is. What
is this scenario of the card rooms? I have no idea what that's about either.
That was like the big people who are against this whole thing. I heard like half the interview, and I'm like,
it is such horseshit.
They were talking to people that like these card rooms were like 80% of the budget for the town. Like it was the whole economy was based on these, and there were a couple hours north of where you are, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys seem
they're
to split
claiming
into a
that
couple different states, I think.
I don't. Why is the governor against 27? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm just sitting here just saying I don't get it. Like every other state, a lot of states are getting the ball rolling. Connecticut got the ball rolling. Even Mass, and I have our friend Jamie's actually in Boston, so she also was telling us about the scenario with the Massachusetts gambling, how they're just kind of
at least it's coming.
It's coming. It's moving slowly, but it is coming.
This will be here. Put it the way, we'll be here for opening day.
There you go.
We'll be bet on baseball next year in Massachusetts. And I've saved how much money this year, not losing. Because look, I'm 14 and 100, so this is a good year for me to practice, and then hop on with you guys next year. I'm going to dominate.
You will, exactly.
Where it counts.
That's what you're going to do. You're going to bounce back, my friend. You're going to bounce back. It's just,
man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I finally, like I mentioned earlier in the show, like I put a rant out on Facebook, which I like do that once a year. Like I don't even use Facebook.
I got to look that up.
I use it once a year. Your wife might have it on her scenario. Like she probably bookmarked it or something, but
probably.
Yeah, but that's just how annoyed I was about it. It's just like, this is a fundamental misunderstanding of what these props actually do. Like they're just claiming all this other nonsense. Like it just was just such a pain dealing with that. And then you just read an article like 2 weeks ago, like, it doesn't have a chance. And surely enough, like they lost decisively. Wasn't close at all. And I'm like, these people are clowns. Like it's just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. But oh yeah, we have picks. Let's go do the picks.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. That'll pick this up a little bit. So let's roll them out. We're gonna start with let's see, whose picks do we do first? We're gonna go with the picks from Dave in the City. That's me. Okay, let's go through the thing. So here we go. We're gonna start off with these selections. There we go. And so we'll start off. And by the way, Andy, what's the scenario with Seattle? Like, because you have the casinos, right? They can do games.
Yeah, we have sports books.
See, why is that so hard? They blocked 26 too. 26 would have allowed it in the travel casinos. Like, oh my God, you might have children gambling. What? Where did they get these? Just enough. Okay. Game number 1. We're gonna go with Titans giving 2.5 to the Broncos. Why? Because I think Denver had a very fortunate win in London against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think people have forgotten how bad they really are. I know the Titans are bad too, but the Broncos stink. Let's be honest. At least the Titans have Derrick Henry, so we're gonna go with them in what should be a very low-scoring game. Game number 2. Andy, what's your line for the Commanders against the Eagles?
Let me punch it up. How is LeBron must hate Westbrook, but he was the one that brought him over there. Westbrook he's 1 for 7 in the first quarter. He shouldn't even take 7 shots the whole game. Eagles minus 11. I'm seeing.
Okay, got 11. Okay, great. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna fade it. I'm gonna go Commanders getting 11 at the Eagles. The division matchups often play to closer games, and when you talk about a team that's not really good at all at anything, but they seem to be able to possess the ball for a fair amount of time. We have a friend here on Twitch, Robbie G, who hosts a show called Sports on the Hill podcast, so they follow the Commanders very closely in DC, and I'm sure he could tell you about how they've been in every single game. And even more so with Heineke, I see no reason for them not to hang around with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are really notorious for, putting up a few points and then kind of sitting on the points. This could be a very interesting game. And so for no other reason, I just think the trend leans towards this being a closer game. It's a division matchup. It's late in the year. The weather's probably going to be pretty bad. I'm going to go with the Commanders getting 11 to go with Titans giving 2.5 for Week 10 in the NFL. So let's keep it rolling. We got John's picks next, and here they are. So John selects the Steelers getting 1.5 at home coming off a bye against the Saints. The Saints looked absolutely miserable on Monday night, was it? Or was it Thursday? But in their Monday, yeah. So they looked terrible against Baltimore. So Steelers getting 1.5, game number 1. Game number 2, a game that I think is going to be pretty popular in our panel. Chargers getting 7 at the 49ers, and that will be this week's Monday night game. No, that's Sunday Night Football. Yeah, I mentioned that already. So yeah, Chargers plus 7, Steelers plus 1.5 for John's picks Week 10. And now we go to Ron's picks, and he's got these 2 picks from the NFL. He's gonna go checker and a checker with John's pick, so he also will take the Chargers getting 7 at the 49ers. For game number 2, he's gonna take the Rams at home, laying the 1.5 against the Arizona Cardinals in what should be a pivotal division matchup. So for Ron in New Jersey, he's going Chargers plus 7, Rams minus 1.5 for Week 10. So just to repeat for everybody, my picks: Titans minus 2.5, Commanders plus 11. John has Steelers plus 1.5 and Chargers plus 7, and Ron has Chargers plus 7. In agreement with John, and Rams minus 1.5 for Week 10 in the NFL. That's a lot there to absorb, but good luck to everybody in their picks. Should be good. All right, so now, Andy, with all that inventory, we'd love to hear your picks as well for Week 10 in the NFL.
Oh, okay. I haven't made any solid choices. We're just gonna shoot from the hip here.
All right.
Getting hungry looking at all these food commercials, but let us take. Apologies in advance, Yachts. Sorry to hear this, Yachts. Congratulations, Yachts. I'm going to take the LA Chargers getting 7 from the San Francisco 49ers. This is just going to be like one of those instances where I can't lose because I'll be rooting for all my babies. Because I got Garoppolo on the fantasy team, but I have Austin Eckler on a fantasy team. I'm going to have money on the LA Chargers. I have, like I said, I got Garoppolo on a fantasy team. And I kind of like rooting for like both teams. Anyway, no. Brass tacks, I think the Chargers are such a weird, they're very Jekyll, very Hyde team. But the one thing, you know, there's some exceptions, right? Like they lose to Seattle by a lot. That was kind of unexpected. That was kind of an outlier of their MO. The thing about the Chargers is they rarely make things easy on themselves, and they find painful ways to lose. They just do weird things. So if you're going to find a painful way to lose on a somewhat consistent habit, that means you need to be in these close games. And if you're going to be in a close game, usually that means you're within 7 points. And San Francisco is giving 7 points. So if you think the Chargers are going to be in a close game, then by definition, they're going to keep it within a one-score, 7-point game. And I just think they will. And it's a Sunday night game. We'll just have to be glued to the television and just hanging on to every one of fucking Chris Collinsworth's insight. And I'm being sarcastic. Him and Tirico are absolutely atrocious. Watch that game on mute or listen to one of your shows. But yeah, give me the Chargers +7 game number 1, and game number 2. We're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're gonna bite the bullet. We're gonna take Ryan Gosling getting 1.5 from the Rams. This is put up a shut up time. I mean, it already is shut up time for the Arizona Cardinals. This is just like, do you have any pride in the tank? Kyler Murray, James Conner, Ryan Gosling. We're looking at you. Do you have any gas in your tank to maybe get something out of this atrocious season? And the Rams, again, they're a team that just, Dave, we watched that game against Buffalo in early September, and they looked like shit then. They really have looked very underwhelming all season long. Stafford's in concussion protocol. Remember that. I just did. I mean, Cooper Kupp's all world. We're not going to deny that. They have good receivers. We're not going to deny that. But they just have not looked pure once this year, you know? So give me the Cardinals. Give me Ryan Gosling getting 1.5 against the Rams as game 2 for week 10.
Yeah, that's. I tell you what, I'm leaning the same way. You'll be head to head with Ron, but
Kingsbury!
Let's do the thing. And honestly, the Rams have just shown me nothing this year. Like, just no. I think I'm rooting. Good luck, Andy. Thank you for the picks, and that leads us to Kevin with the final picks of the night. So from NFL Week number 10, we're ready for you when you are.
I'm taking the Bill Simmons Seahawks.
Oh,
excited for it.
Nice.
For no other reason than I couldn't think of another one, and I crossed off some other games here. But yeah, the Simmons on the bandwagon really won me over, that prick. And so my second game, I've got to start doing. This is a perfect opportunity for me to maybe got to chip one or two of these away. So I'm taking the 49ers. We've got 3 of these clowns that we're in here with, taking the Chargers.
I see what he's doing.
Strategery.
I've got to do one. If I do one of these a week, I can maybe by Christmas I could be in some kind of mix. So I know obviously I'm outclassed when it comes to breaking these things down. So it's really just I was writing them down. And I'm like, oh, Ron picked the Chargers, John, and all right. So just going to be that. It's not even contrarian because I don't have enough information to be a contrarian about it. So I'm just trying to claw my way out of the cellar. Good luck, boys.
Well, thank you very much. May the best bets win. Good luck to you too. I mean, thank you for the picks, Junkie. Junkie's a nickname for Kevin. The reason is because when you were back on the board, I think your name was Southside Junkie. Like
I think it's mostly the meth.
The meth. Yeah, there's meth too. Meth was involved too. Yeah.
Painkillers were bad for a while.
Oh, that's right.
No, just kidding. Yeah, no. The long story short is when I first I don't remember when did the first one exist? I have no idea, but it was in like, and I remember trying to come up with a screen name, and they were doing the Southside Johnny show, and I
Right.
was like, oh, I'll just do Southside something, but I can't do Johnny because that guy's a tool. Um, and then when we switched, I just took that one off. And I am not a junkie, although seems like it would be kind of cool to bottom out once for like a month or so, see how that is. But too late now,
Hmm.
family and stuff. I had a shot to do it, and you know, I didn't really take it. I was so close so many times to just going on that like full on bender, where you're like, am I in Mexico or Vegas? I don't even know. Like, but something
In
always.
another life.
Yeah.
Yeah, another life, double life, man.
Desmond Hume.
Don Blanding. You know that poem? I think it's called The Double Life. Don Blanding. You should look it up. It's
Don
friggin'
Blaney.
brilliant. It's all of us. Like, well, you guys are living your the single life, but it is it's encapsulates that so well. My friend gave it to me years ago. Don Blanding is the guy's name. I don't know anything else about him except he wrote this poem called The Double Life, and it's brilliant.
I would love
That's
to.
your educational portion of the show.
I appreciate you, Junkie.
We do poetry, we do politics, we do Andy's midnight sushi runs,
We definitely
Steve's bologna sandwiches. We do it all.
But you can see why I'm so happy to have the merge with the sandwich show, because like this is what we do there too. Like we do the same thing. We cover everything over there. So it's really
It's really but think about it, like Andy's gonna go to a bar or whatever. That's what you do when you go out with your buddies.
yeah.
You guys, we jump around. I don't go out in bars anymore, but you go out for like 2 hours. You end up talking about 19 different things.
Absolutely.
It's great. It's real life, man.
Yeah. It's good times. Like it's a good time of the year, right? As Andy was saying, like it's
Great time of the year.
great time of the year. It's a great
Especially
time.
especially for those of us who respect the fucking fall.
Respect fall.
Right. That's exactly how
I mean,
feel.
Andy knows.
Now is when you carve.
And I know, yeah, and Andy's been in New England plenty. He knows what it's like out here in the fall. It's freaking gorgeous.
Yep.
Trees bursting in orange and red and all that kind of nonsense. That all you guys, I got into it this year.
This. Respect.
Yeah.
This.
That's the
Respect
pumpkin.
the pumpkin, you
Respect the pumpkin.
bastards.
There it is. Respect.
I mean, we raked leaves all weekend.
Yep.
Family bonding.
Yep.
Ooh. Corn mazes.
Yep.
What about the corn maze?
Corn maze. That's cool. Super cool.
Hay rides.
That's fantastic.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let me just summarize my action tonight. I got killed. I went like 1-5. Not good. But did anybody want to comment on the World Series?
What are you saying, matching? What are you guys talking? What is that word you keep saying?
Oh, the Mac conference.
Maction.
Maction.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the West Virginia senator. I seriously was like, is Dave really doing like a end around on my politics stuff?
Maction.
Okay.
Maction.
Middle National Conference.
Maction.
Yeah. It's very exciting stuff.
I have till next year to figure that out.
Yeah.
Get my betting account.
They basically just so for the final month of the season, they put all their games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays so that everybody can watch them on TV.
I was confused when I turned on my stuff and I saw it. I was like, "Holy shit! Is it Thursday?"
Yeah, it is Wednesday tonight. They also had games yesterday.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great.
Get some attention.
Oh yeah, it works. It has definitely worked. Like you see it trending all the time. Like it's.
What else? I mean, you have nothing to lose. Like it's like the blue field like 20 years ago. You have nothing to lose. Just do some stuff.
Yep.
Get out. Get noticed.
Absolutely. And we've certainly you've all been great tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again. And good luck to your picks. So let's go around for final thoughts, including any clownsmanship over in the various state races. Junkman, I'll go to you first.
Bobert's down to 63 votes separating her.
Oh my God.
That's some other guy.
Wow. Some other guy.
But he'd be perfect choice over that nut.
Yeah. Okay.
Final thoughts. Good to see you guys again. I know nothing about football, but this is one of my favorite 2 hours of the week. I'm a little tired from watching John King, but he only goes in like 2 feet. He doesn't really get that many steps in. So it's not like he's really busting it like, some of us do at work. Um, that's it, man. I hope you guys win all your bets, even if it's at the expense of me, because I know you guys do it where it counts, as Dog would say.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Junk Man.
And,
Appreciate you. And same
baseball's
scenario.
over. I don't know. What do we got? We got hot stove. Maybe next week we can.
Hot stove started immediately after Phillies recorded the last out. Captain's tweeting, why have they haven't hired Judge? Why hasn't Cashman done anything yet? Who's going to lead off for the Yankees? Why haven't they got a starter? Why haven't they shored up the bullpen? Hot stove already started.
And this is why you don't leave this podcast early, people. You never know, the last 10-15 minutes. Oh God, that's it. Yeah. You grew up where the way I did, you were raised to sort of hate the Eagles and the Phillies, but the Jets and the Yankees, I can't stand. Far worse. The Yankees, oh my God, just that was so great. And then even though they didn't, the Astros, they were playing the Phillies, it's like, just it still sticks it to Yankee fans when the Astros win for some reason. I feel like
because the Yankee fans were the Yankee
fans. They have
fans
this preoccupation now that like they're in their heads and they're always cheating and it's like, it's just so much fun. And their own people threw a beer at Ted Cruz's head, almost hit him. It hit his fat, his third chin anyway. So it's like I had a little respect for Houston.
There's
that old guy who bet $75 million on the
mattress guy. Yeah, the mattress guy.
It's a wild scene. It's kind of like it's a big city, but it's not. It still has a different. I don't know. Houston. I've only been there once. Loved every minute of it. They were actually playing the Yankees when we were there. The hotel, like right across the street from the stadium.
It's funny.
We had a hotel, but this is a good one. The hotel pool had a lazy river in the shape of the state of Texas. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Fantastic.
This is so cool.
Houston is I kind of feel the same. And Andy, you've been to Houston a bunch too. Like, it seems like an underrated city in some ways. What do you think?
Yeah, I would never live there. My dad lives there. It's a great place to visit. They got tremendous food. They have all the food.
Andy's right.
So they have, they got Texas steak. They got Texas Tex-Mex. So they got, but then they also have they have the Gulf of Mexico kind of food. They have Cajun food.
We have all these pockets too of these like immigrant areas too. Like we were in like this like Thai section, and we were having all these different. Oh, it was so like this kind of Asian fusion stuff. Then we walked this like supposedly finding this hipster place, and I walked in like past with my wife. Yeah, she was pregnant too at the time, and it was like the Skid Row version of Houston, and I'm like, whoa! Like we were like just walked from the hotel, and it was dicey. But they had they have so many, population exploded, half of New Orleans moved there.
Yeah,
because let's be honest, we have an obesity problem in America, in Texas. Everything's big in Texas, and Seattle portions suck. It pisses me off because I can eat like a hibernating bear, and the Texas portions are.
Everything's bigger.
Everything's
bigger.
Yeah.
We
went to
bread
we were watching
bigger.
We went to the hotel bar. Which was Biggio's. It was after the Astro player. And I was like, I just want to get a pretzel. Like I wasn't that hungry. And it was friggin' the size. It was like 2 plates. It was like, it's like a ballpark pretzel. And I'm like, what ballpark is this from? It covered like the whole half of the table. There was like 7 different dipping sauces with it. I was like, Jesus.
This has got to be for like 10 people, right? Like it's.
I don't know. But yeah, of course, I ate the whole thing, of course.
Oh, of course. I mean, you got it. I mean, that sounds great. That sounds awesome. Yeah. Hey, let's give a shout out to Mike Dub Dylan. Welcome in. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for the follow, by the way. Appreciate you very much. It's nice to meet you.
Rolling in it.
Yeah. Road to 2000.
Road to 2000. We're gonna have a special 2000 show.
Oh man, goodness.
Collecting all my little points.
You all have been amazing. Thank you so much for all your love over the last couple of weeks. Like, you're very kind to comment. Dylan's let's go Phillies. Phillies are as good as a whole cheesesteak, baby. But he also says Minute Maid Park is sweet. My buddy played with the Texans and said he loved it. See, that's cool. That's cool. So show some love for Houston too.
The park is cool. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. It looks small too. I want to go visit. I've never been. Andy, have you been? Have you been to
That'd
Minute
be a
Maid?
good trip for you, Dave.
Yeah.
I've been to Minute Maid Park. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
It'd be a
Cool.
nice little trip for you, Dave.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Like LBJ stuff all over that.
Yeah. We have and if you think about it, like I had a layover in Houston with my sister. Christy's Coffee is on Twitch is my sister, so we had a layover in Houston for a couple hours. So there was an outlet which had brisket, and it was the best brisket I've ever had in my life. It was really good.
In an airport, see that?
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be like a restaurant somewhere else in town, but like they just kind of have like an outlet in the airport. So, pretty cool. Well, anything? No, Andy kind of summed it up too. Like, but anything else you want to add? I have about a minute. Andy, anything else you want to tack on before we go?
No, you guys all nailed it. Baseball. I'm happy for Dusty.
Me too.
I'm happy for Dusty. I would have liked to have seen the game World Series go 7 just for selfish reasons, and
well, another game to bet on.
Yeah,
exactly, another game to bet on. And
come on.
I thought Phillies manager taking out Wheeler 70 pitches was not the way to do it.
It's on brand though for modern managing, though.
Yes, it is.
You know,
I was about to say I thought they fired Girardi.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
but that still came back to haunt him. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think the Phillies had a great year too. I do want to mention that. Like the Phillies had a very, very good year. Like that came out of nowhere. So props to the Phillies for making the run. Like that's very cool to see them make it this far. I see, kind of like with Houston. Like I don't even hate it anymore. I used to hate the Phillies. This is a different team. These guys are.
They're not that hateable.
No, like
they're not that
they
hateable.
lose too much to be hateable anymore. Like they had hateable people, they're gone. Like this is not a hateable team. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. We could do a top 10 most hateable franchises at some point.
Oh my gosh, Dylan, this is a layup for. So Dylan with a question in the chat. Can you guys help me? Who should I start at QB for my DraftKings lineup? This is to me, it's a layup. The choices are Brady or Geno. Andy, I'll give it to you.
Well, Tampa has a really good defense. That's
Joe Namath.
I don't know. Geno. Tampa could make Geno look pedestrian. That's tough. I don't know.
Interesting.
Those games in Europe could be really ugly. I don't know. I have no feel. Fuck, one game on the line to take Brady, right? But this season it's Geno. Yeah. That's tough.
You're right. I mean, to be fair, like when you talk about the neutral site and everything, and it is only it's a Bucks versus Seahawks only DraftKings contest. So those are the only choices.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, Dylan, it's a great question. That's a great question. And so Andy's going to lean Geno. But you're right. Like it could go either way, honestly. So we'll see. Hopefully it's a good game.
I kind of like the turning against Brady. He said it's just too much. Enough. Yeah.
I feel like we've all given him enough rope this year.
Let's collectively turn on him.
Can we? And I know John. I mean, I'm pretty sure John would agree with this, but I feel like Rodgers has definitely seen better days too. Like that's been tough to watch. That's been tough to watch all year. I feel bad, but it is what it is. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Have a good luck to your picks too, and enjoy the weekend.
Should have got that vaccine, that fool.
Oh, you mean Rodgers? Yeah.
Would turn him back to a superhero.
What a clown. What a clown. You know, I don't feel bad for him necessarily. I feel bad for like the rest of the team and the fans, but I don't feel that bad for Rodgers. I feel
bad for most anyone living in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I don't know if I'd say that. Like, you could do worse in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but
it's already like 20 below.
Oh, is it really? Like right now?
There's going to be a blizzard. There's a blizzard coming.
All the folks are outside.
Wow.
All the lake houses are.
Yeah, all the lake. Oh yeah.
The pontoons are out. What'd you think of Brian Rafalski, y'all? Think of Brian Rafalski.
The pontoons are in the garage.
They're putting the trivia. What you think of the trivia?
Watching the Packers.
Yeah, I actually saw that.
You know that?
I didn't know that. I needed someone to tell me, inform me that was going to happen. I'm just kidding. Of course I do.
You're going to get, and my last thing is the next 30 days, you're going to see more than you've ever wanted to see about Herschel Walker.
Oh, man.
It's going to be gross.
Oof. Big oof.
He's going to win?
He's going to be up to like 25 abortions by the end of this. It's going to be bad. You thought Clinton and wheeling out all those ladies was bad. This is going to be real bad. Anderson Cooper looks kind of like a goblin too now.
All right, well, we'll leave it at that. But at any rate, y'all go watch the Packers at the bars if you're around Green Bay. That's the thing to do over there. Watch them lose to the Cowboys. Do you think by the way, do you think the Cowboys would do you think the Packers have any shot at that game? Because you would think in the vacuum it would, maybe it would be possible, but
Yeah, they do, because
yeah,
on any given Sunday, you can lose
Pencil.
in the NFL.
absolutely.
Hold my pencil like Trent Dilfer making a point.
Get the pencil.
I think that's
Vince
a good
Lombardi
point.
is not walking through that door. Neither is Jimmy Johnson.
I think that's
And remember, the Cowboys are still coached by.
Mike McCarthy.
So anything
Yeah.
can happen.
Yeah, right.
Anything can
Absolutely
happen.
right.
People. That
Absolutely
guy
right.
is a dunce.
No argument.
Dunce.
No argument from any of us, least of all by John. And when he comes back, he will certainly make that point. So thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you around. Good luck, everyone.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
Later,
Thank you,
fellas.
good show.
Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you, Cab. Thank you, Andy. Good show. Good stuff.
Yeah, good luck to everybody. And sending our best to John and to Ron as well. We're going to do written picks next week because we're going to have the burrito challenge on Wednesday, the 16th. So just a program note for those of you listening on the podcast. We'll take the week off from the podcast a week from now, but we'll keep posting the picks at sandwichsports.podbean.com and on Twitter at the Sandwich Show. That's right, the burrito challenge. Look who's just joined us in the chat, Irene Pena. So everybody from everybody here on Sandwich Sports, we appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you for the follow, Mike Dillon. And thanks for tuning in tonight. If you missed any part of it, we'll have the replay right here on Twitch and over on YouTube at Sandwich Sports on YouTube as well. I'm Dave Medina. You also know me as Davey's Eating a Sandwich. For those of you on the podcast feed, we will see you next time.